Hello everyone, as you can see I want to work with some dried flowers here today. I've got a whole plate full of stuff that I've dried. I've got some beautiful daisies, I have got some buttercups, love these, fuchsia, I've got some fuchsia here, Queen Anne's lace, I absolutely love this stuff, some lavender and all of that kind of goodness. I've got all sorts, also some leaves, some that are pretty much intact and some that are partly skeletonized. You know, some purple flowers. I've got no idea what these are, but you know, bits and pieces that I've picked from my garden over the last 12 months or so that I thought we might be able to use in our journals. And don't worry if you don't have any dried flowers, I'll give you some alternative ideas as we go along. I've also pulled out a whole heap of other types of papers. I've got some small dictionary papers here, vintage book papers in different languages. These were sent to me by my friend Duke. I've also got some eco dyed papers. I've got quite a few of these buried underneath this pile. That one there. Let's have a look and see what else we can find. I've got this one here, which I think was avocado dyed. You'll see as I go along. Here we go. Here's some more. Some of my beautiful eco dyed papers. I'll leave the link to the video showing how I made these in the description box below. I've also got some paper bags, brown paper bags. I've got this, which you've seen many times before. Some Japanese or Korean book pages. All sorts, ledger papers. I've got this, which I absolutely love. This is onion skin paper. I've got a whole book of this. I've pulled out a few of these. I just absolutely love the purple text and the colour of the background paper. More ledger papers. All kinds of things, some music papers here which I thought would be fun to use. Also pulled out some other bits and pieces. I've got a few of the papers that I received from JournalSay. I absolutely love these. So I've pulled out a few different colourways of these. I thought these might be fun to use, all natural colours. So we've got those. I've got some braille paper. This is vintage braille paper. I love this. I've got some pianola paper as well, very fragile, but that's fun to use. And then also some other bits and pieces from JournalSay. I've got this pack of papers, all kinds of different textures, which you know, I thought some of these might be fun to use in our designs. Just look at this one here. Isn't that just gorgeous? We've got these, really fun and interesting. This one here, I love these. That one, so you know, we might be able to use some of those. And then finally, this pack of vellum sheets. This is embossed text on vellum. I absolutely love this. So, you know, I thought we might be able to pull in some of this. I thought that might be fun. And then also, forgot this as well, another pack of papers. I think this was from JournalSay as well. But look at this. Just beautiful sort of natural fabrics with flowers and leaves and all of that kind of thing. I've pulled out 5 pieces of paper that I thought we might be able to use. This was from the paper pack here. I love the texture on this. It's like a linen piece of paper. And then I've got all of these patterned papers here. I thought this might be nice for a background. And so I am just wondering if I can layer these something like this. How do I want this to go? Maybe this way round. And I just think all the layers will just look absolutely beautiful in pulling my dried flower piece together, my dried flower embellishment together. Perhaps I can have that poking up there, maybe this one a bit further down. I need to play around with these. Which way round does that one need to go? That one can go in the middle there. And then I've pulled out this Queen Anne's lace. and I thought that could make my beautiful focal image. Now, of course, I need to trim all of these down. Rather than using my paper trimmer, I've decided to use my metal ruler. This is really easy to line up. I'm just going to tear this to cut this piece down as well. I'm just going to make a mark here and do the same with my ruler. I'm just going to follow that that line there and just cut that as well. Now, of course, I wanted this piece of ledger paper here. I love how translucent this is and that you can see the ledger from the previous side. I definitely want it this way round, at least I think I do. Then, of course, I want this one to go on next, and I just think this layering is just going to add so much interest. Now, do I want this that way round or even this way round here? Maybe we could try that. I want the music paper on here as well. These are shifting around all over the place where I don't want them to be. I want to cover up that line that's on here. So maybe like that. And then we've got this beautiful piece of scrapbooking paper as well. And then we've got our Queen Anne's lace. Now, which way round do I want this to go? I think it's brighter if it's this way around. I think that looks gorgeous, and I'm just wondering as well whether we could add some stitching. Just playing around with this, I think it needs to go further over to the left. So with my glue in hand, I'm just going to press this down. Add some glue here and on the underside. This is just to hold my papers in place, and then this is the final one. So those are all held now in place so that I can take this off to the sewing machine. I added my stitching and I think that looks absolutely gorgeous. I decided to use this zigzag stitch. I've left a few fibres as well. So now to stick my Queen Anne's lace down, I think I want the stem hanging slightly off the page, and I'm just going to use art glitter glue to do this. Now, over the years I've shared several different methods for gluing dried flowers down. I've used the single ply of whoops, let's get rid of that quick. I've used the single ply of a napkin before now to go over the top, but I think I just want to glue this with art glitter glue today. Just putting a small dab just in the centre here, and now I just want to add some to the, in fact, if we put a dab there, and then I'm just going to add some to the stem. And I think I'd like to make a whole collection of these and maybe make a new nature journal. I don't know, maybe we could use feathers, all kinds of things. I just love doing these nature inspired projects. So just making sure I've got my stem covered. I think that should do it. And then carefully pop this into place. Of course, any glue that seeps will dry clear. That's where that's landed, so that's where I'm going to put it. Very, very delicate. And then I think I'd like some washi tape just to hold the stem in place. So whilst I go off and have a look and see what I've got, I'm just going to let that set. In fact, what I might do is put a piece of parchment paper over the top and stick a heavy book on top of it just to weight it down. I've had a quick look through my huge washi tape stash and I couldn't find anything that was just going to be appropriate for this page. And so I Googled how to make your own DIY vintage sellotape. And I came across a video by Debbie Ann of Ephemera's Vintage Garden, where she makes vintage style tape using just Scotch tape like this, which I've already got on hand. And so I'm going to follow her video and I'm going to give this a go. So what she does is pull off strips of sellotape and stick it down to one of these file folders. I think you could use acetate, you know, just use whatever you have on hand. Parchment paper would probably work as well. So if I'm going to do one strip, I might as well do a few. I'm going to be using my alcohol inks, which I haven't pulled out in an absolute age. So I'm just going to stick a few sheets of this down. I don't know whether you can see if I hold this up. Two of my pieces at the bottom got stuck together at the end, but I'm just thinking that's going to add to the vintage vibe. Now, Debbie Ann suggests you use colours of brown and that you can mix and match. I think she just used one colour. I think it was caramel. I've got caramel, butterscotch and latte. And I'm just going to apply these using a sponge. I've also got a piece of parchment paper underneath here just to catch any of the excess. Oh gosh, I hope I'm not going to get crumbling. I haven't used these for such a long time. And I'm just going to follow her method exactly. So let's add just some alcohol ink to my strips of sellotape, scotch tape. Here we are. And I think what I'm going to do is just dab this on first before I add a different colour. So that one was the caramel. And then all she did, in fact, I can already see it working. How cool is this? She just dabbed it on with a makeup sponge. I'm going to try and get my top out of things. I do not want alcohol ink all over my nice top, pink top. But I'm just going to spread this out. And the good thing about alcohol inks is that they just dry really, really quickly. I'm not sure whether I should have perhaps done maybe one strip at a time because I can see this line. But that's okay. We can probably reactivate it anyway. So I think what I'll do next is add some latte, but I'm just going to do one strip at a time. So I'm just going to use the same sponge. I'm catching my top sort of underneath my armpit. I like the butterscotch, actually no, the caramel, which was darker, wasn't it? So I'm just going to add a bit more of that. And I'm just experimenting here because I have never done this before. I've seen people use the tape in their projects. In fact, I quite like how uneven that is. And so I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep adding alcohol inks and see where we end up. What colour was that one? That one was the latte. The marks make it more vintage-like. So I'm just going to keep playing, and as soon as I've finished I'll come back and show you what I've achieved. This is what my vintage tape looks like. Alcohol inks dry incredibly quickly. Which piece do I like the best? You see, I really like this one at the bottom. I don't know, let's peel a piece of this off. What I'm going to do is just cut a smidge of it, because what I'm thinking is that I'd like to add a piece down here. Let's have a look. How much do I need? I just think this looks a little bit bare. So now this is too straight. And I'm just wondering sort of how will that look? I think what I'm going to do is cut it here, just so that I've got a thinner strip, and maybe you see that's not going to work. Just going to try and cut a piece off, and I'm going to try and do it sort of wiggly fashion so that it's not too straight. It's just too wide a piece for my page. Let's just stick that there, and then I'm just wondering whether I can stick this down here like so. I don't want to be too straight about this either. Isn't that gorgeous? That colour is just absolutely perfect. And then maybe we can use these little odds and sods that I've got just to stick this down as well. I'm really pleased with how that turned out. Honestly, that took just a couple of minutes to make. I love that. Isn't that just gorgeous? That was exactly the look that I was going for. I've got this little piece here, the piece that I tore off, and I'm just wondering whether I can use this. Of course, I've got this part here that is coming unstuck, and so perhaps we can make that look intentional. Turn it on its side and just stick this down using that spare piece of tape. I love how that looks. Let's try another one. I've pulled out 4 pieces of paper here. I've got this beautiful textured paper from the same pack. I don't know whether you can see the texture if I hold it up, but I've got that. I've also got an eco dyed paper. That's what it looks like on the back. The other piece from the page that I used for this piece here, and a dictionary page. And I just wonder whether I could do something with these. I'm wondering whether we could, you know, just layer these. Do I even need this page in the background? I don't know. Perhaps I might like just 3 pages. I've also got these buttercups, which I thought I could use. Do you know, I just really like that, how it is. So I think what I'm going to do is just glue these down and again, just add some stitching. Out with the glue stick, and let's stick these down just to hold them in place so that I can take them off to the sewing machine. Just a little bit here. And let's just add some stitching around this bit here. I love how much the stitching adds to this piece, just absolutely beautiful. Let's trim some of these little strings. Let's take those off. I want to leave these quite long, but not as long as that. There we go. I think that's fine. And then let's add our dried flower. So how do we want this to go? Isn't that gorgeous? Which way round does this need to be? I think it needs to be this way round. So again, I'm just going to add some art glitter glue and stick this on. So you can see I've added glue just to the backs of the petals. I'm just going to add glue here as well, just to make sure that I get this to stick down really nicely. And again, what I'll do is add parchment paper and stick this down between a heavy book. Just need to turn this around here. Just add glue to my stem. And this works really nicely. This glue is nice and strong. Let me just bring in a piece of parchment paper. And how do we want this to go? About there, I think. So let's do one more. I've pulled out 3 more pieces of paper. I've got this eco dyed paper here. I'm not sure whether this is onion skin or avocado dyed, but it's just absolutely beautiful. So I think we can tear a piece of this off. I've also got another piece of paper from this pack here. I'll leave the link to this in the description box below. But if I hold it up, I'm not sure whether you can see the texture on this. It's just beautiful. It's gorgeous. I've also got this music sheet here from an old music score, but I thought we might be able to tear a piece of this out. Bring in my ruler, and are they both the same size? I think they are. So let's do this one at the top here. So what I'm going to do is tear this out like this. This paper is very, very fragile. Of course, I've also got this beautiful paper here, and I'm just going to see if I can tear the excess bits off here. Let's move those out of the way. I need to shorten this as well. Do I like the bottom or the top half? I think we'll just tear some of this off. There we go. And also we need to tear some off here as well. And it's just a case of tearing your pieces down to get them to fit your design. You see, that's perfect. I really like that. I love this jaggedy edge here. And then of course we've got our music paper. I need to tear off some of this side here. I'm just going to do this like so. There we are. Keep that because that's really nice to use in collage for other pieces as well. Now I do feel as if I might want something else to come in here, so let me just have a flick through my stash and see what I can find. I think that we need to have some brown in the background. I think this will go really well, so you know, that composition works really well, but the paper bag is just a bit boring, but the size is perfect. So I'm just wondering whether we can trim down a piece of this braille paper here. So I'm just going to use the paper bag as a template. Let's just tear some of this off and just get this to fit. Let's piece this together. So we've got the eco-dyed paper, my braille paper. Which way round does this want to go? I think maybe this way. That seems to be the most textured side. And then of course this on here, and I've pulled out this flower which I think goes really well with that colour scheme. Now this is really fragile, so I think what I want to do is just grab a piece of parchment paper and put some matte medium over the top of this just to hold the petals in place. Some matte medium. I'm just going to be using the Winsor & Newton Galleria matte medium. I've also got a little ramekin dish here. I'm just going to pop some inside. I'm going to water this down as well. So I've got my water. Let's just thin this down ever so slightly. Here we are. And what I'll do, I think I'll do it from the back. I'm just going to apply some matte medium just onto my flower, just being really gently about this, but hopefully this will hold it in place and stop it falling apart. My flower embellishment is a lot more stable now, and as you can see I've also sewn my background down, and so I'm just going to glue this on here like this. Isn't that just gorgeous? That's just beautiful. Again, I'll just use art glitter glue and you know, just add glue, just a small amount of glue over my leaves just to hold everything in place, and hopefully this will be enough. Let's just add some here, just on all of the solid areas, and of course down the spine as well. And pop this over and just pop this down. And again, I'm just going to grab a piece of parchment paper to put over the top and hold this down with a heavy book. So here we are. This one is finished as well. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Let me just hold it up to the camera. I'm really pleased with all the texture that we've got going on here. Of course, the braille paper, the stitching, the eco-dyed paper, and of course the texture in the background as well. I think that's absolutely lovely. bringing back the other two that I made earlier, I just think these are absolutely gorgeous, and I just think these would be wonderful to use in any kind of nature journal. You could even use these as journal toppers for the cover of a journal, as well as for individual pages. I think what I'll end up doing is making a whole collection of these. I've got loads of feathers that I've collected on my travels. I've got bags and bags of feathers, but you know, this would look absolutely gorgeous. I've got loads, absolutely all sorts. I've got loads of leaves as well that I've collected. Skeleton leaves would be wonderful to use. But, you know, I said at the beginning of the video that I'd share other ideas for those of you that don't have any dried flowers. You could use stickers. If you've got floral stickers, you know, you could use those. They'd work very, very well on this kind of background. You could also use your stamps. Use stencils as well. Use ink or even modelling paste through a stencil. I think that's something I'd like to try next. So many ways that you can interpret this. But for those of you that would like to use dried flowers and don't have any, I'll leave the link to a video that I shared, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago perhaps, which was an idea of using drying flowers in minutes using parchment paper and an iron. Very, very easy to do. So I'll leave the link to that video in the description box below. Together with my dried flower playlist as well. I've got dozens of videos sharing ideas for using dried flowers, and I get asked to share more ideas all the time. It's one of my most popular series. So I hope this has given you more ideas and inspiration. So if you've enjoyed today's video, as always, I'd very much appreciate a thumbs up. Do let me know what you think in the comments below, but most importantly, thanks for watching. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.